Well, Deputy Health Secretary and former tech investor Jim O'Neill has been named acting director of the CDC, despite questions about the legality of the previous director's firing. Susan Monarez served as director of the agency for less than a month before she was removed from the position by the White House. Several other top CDC officials resigned in protest. Skyler Henry has more on the shakeup.
The turmoil inside the CDC spilled outside the agency's Atlanta headquarters. Hundreds of current and former employees gathered in a show of support for top officials who have now either quit or been fired. Dr. Dimitri Daskalakis was in charge of vaccine recommendations.
What the last 24 hours felt like? Intense. Yeah? But a lot of love for the CDC.
Along with the CDC's chief medical officer, head of infectious diseases, and head of public health data, Daskalakis resigned in protest. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder spoke to Dr. Daskalakis.
Something is wrong when politics rules science, and we're not able to have the best science, true gold standard, make sure that we're doing the right thing for the people that we serve.
It was a show of outrage from federal workers in a week when the administration also suspended about 20 workers at FEMA for publicly criticizing cuts at their agency. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. had been pushing for the CDC's director, Dr. Susan Monarez, to leave.
There's a lot of trouble at CDC, and it's going to require getting rid of some people.
Monarez refused to go, and Wednesday night, the White House fired her.
If people are not aligned with the president's vision and the secretary's vision to make our country healthy again, then we will gladly show them the door.
A lawyer for Monarez says she was fired because she refused to rubber stamp unscientific, reckless directives.
This is what makes CDC great.
Dr. Daniel Jernigan was a director responsible for infectious diseases.
Let's get the politics out of public health. Let's get back to the objectivity and let the science lead us, because that's how we get to the best decisions for public health.
Acting Director O'Neill previously had posts under the George W. Bush administration serving in the Department of Health and Human Services. Prior to that, he was also a biotech investor, and he's also worked alongside Secretary Kennedy since last November as it relates to the Make America Healthy Again initiatives and proposals. Something else to point out here is that he will play a significant role as it relates to vaccine recommendations, and that is something that has been a point of contention for leadership here at the CDC and those who work here. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Atlanta. Well, today a judge will hear Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook's lawsuit against President Trump after he attempted to fire her from the Fed board. And this sets the stage for a high-stakes legal battle which will likely end up in the Supreme Court. The lawsuit seeks to confirm Cook's status as a member of the Board of Governors and safeguard the Fed's, quote, congressionally mandated independence. CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand is at the White House with more on this. Natalie, good morning. So can you break this lawsuit down for us? What's at stake here?
Good morning, Michael. And also interesting to note that Cook and Monarez share one of the same attorneys as they try to fight these firings. Today's hearing was scheduled almost immediately after this lawsuit was formally filed. Cook's legal team asking a judge to block the president from firing her, from removing her, and arguing that the administration doesn't have cause, that her due process Fifth Amendment rights were violated here because, the president moved to terminate her based on a criminal referral letter detailing allegations of mortgage fraud, but no formal charges have yet been brought. So that's one argument here. They also, her legal team says that cause, while not clearly defined in the Federal Reserve Act, should be thought to involve official conduct and not private conduct based on, this allegation that was made before she was formally nominated. Now, the White House, they are defending the move, saying that the president had the authority to fire her and that there was cause based on, this accusation of lying in financial documents from a highly sensitive position overseeing financial institutions. That's the latest statement we have from the White White House. Ultimately, this will be up to the courts to decide, and potentially very quickly, because the next time the Fed board and the committee that makes decisions on interest rates is set to meet is mid-September, and all of this coming amid the president's push to exert more control over, what's typically been the independent Federal Reserve in his push to lower interest rates, Michael.
All right, Natalie Brand at the White House. Thank you.